Hi, sorry everyone. I've got into the second video. I'm sorry for making this into two videos, but I like to answer all the questions that someone does in their talk, not just skim over their video and give an overall view. I like to go through the whole thing and answer all the questions. Um, so I'll try and make this two videos short. Hopefully it won't be any longer. And I apologize for this, but I like to answer all the questions. So let's carry on.
Uh, so when you start saying morality comes from God, immediately the question is which God and who says? Even if we could agree on which religion, we inside that religion we would still find people who say one thing and people who say another thing, and we have.
Okay, as I was saying for the first part, um for that which god, that's what I was saying to you. Basically, for someone to say that this is objectively right, that god has to be all-knowing. Yep. So therefore, in every other religion, if it's Judaism, I can prove god is not all-knowing. Very simply, in the Bible it says that God had to put a rainbow in the sky to remind him not to get uncontrollably angry and flood the people of Noah. That's in Genesis 9:16. It says, "And I will put a bow in the sky, so when my anger gets hot like wax, I shall see it, and it will remind me of my covenant with man." Meaning that God before got uncontrollably angry, flooded the whole of people, all of Noah's people. No, not just Noah's people, everything in the world, they say, and then basically put a rainbow in the sky to remind him not to do it again. This is not the kind of being that created the universe. Someone that, gets uncontrollably angry, so we need something to remind him. No, when we talk about the creator of the universe, something that's all knowing, has to be something that's always all knowing. You know what I'm saying? Not something that now and again needs reminders and so forth and blah blah blah. So I would be able to say to you, look, your God doesn't even know when he's going to get uncontrollably angry. He needs a reminder. So I don't believe this can be set by this being that you believe in, or the concept of this being that you believe in, can set or objective morality, because he doesn't know everything. He needs reminders. Objective how can I say? Well, excuse my words. Objective reality comes from an all-knowing being. God in the Bible is not all-knowing. Another verse in the Bible where God says to Adam in the Bible in the beginning, it says that uh, Adam was walking around naked. He heard God's voice, so he hid behind some bushes. And God said, "Oh, Adam, where are you?" And he was looking for him. He couldn't hide him. And he said, "Oh, Lord, forgive me. I was hiding behind a tree because I was naked and I heard your voice and I was shy or scared or whatever." So that's it. And whether you bring like Hinduism or whether you bring like Christianity, Christians believe Jesus is God. Jesus didn't know the day of judgment. You know, all of these religions, apart from Islam, say God becomes a man, God becomes a statue, God becomes an animal, or God has human thoughts for getting resting, getting hungry, and so forth. So that's why I'm a Muslim. I'm not another part of that religion, and that's why I can say I have objective morality in my religion.
Decide what they.
Oh yeah, and also you were talking about inside religion. Like I said to you, that we can bring the texts forward and so forth, but generally, sex outside of marriage, was it homosexuality, incest, uh, being rude to your parents, stealing, again and again and again and again, being rude to your parents, everything is generally, you got bits here and there, but apart from that, that's it, you know.
Who's right, and the only way it could be answered is if God, hey, this is the answer, told everybody, and it was clear. Unfortunately, it never happens that way. It's always a man or a woman standing up and saying, "This is what God told me."
I think it's clear from looking at all the religions that, you know, okay, generally all the religions, Hinduism, uh, b- believes that God incarnates himself in the creation. Sikhism, believes that God is everything. Um, like I said, Christianity believes God becomes a man. Um, uh, Judaism believes that God has human thoughts, like creating the world in 7 days, then resting, and you know, and all types of human attributes. So therefore, to me, it's clear that Islam is the truth and that Islam is the only religion for God, because it's the only religion that says worship God alone and don't make God like the creation, you know. And the only religion that comes near to it is Judaism, and even Judaism, even though it doesn't believe God is incarnate in a man like the other religions or a statue or a cow or anything else, it still, has God having human attributes, not knowing everything, not seeing everything, not hearing everything. So therefore, to me, it's pretty clear that as a Muslim, that Islam's the truth. Also, I can also say to a Jew, look, your book doesn't say God is all knowing, so how can he say this is right or wrong? He didn't even know when this was going to happen or that's going to happen. So how could he say that this is right or wrong? How could he say it if he doesn't know? If he doesn't know anything, if he needs reminders, you know. So therefore, I think it's clear to see, that Islam, if you believe in a God, is a true religion.
And then somebody else stands up and says, this is what God told me. Who's right? How are you going to judge? How are you going to tell? Ultimately, humans make the decision. Humans decide. You might credit God with your belief. And I mean, you might really believe that God said that. But other people who disagree with you also really believe that God said that. So how are you going to prove them wrong, and how are they going to prove you wrong? Is God saying two different things to two different people?
Okay, first of all, I told you I will always have objective morality. Secondly, I talk to atheists all the time. I talk to Christians all the time. I talk to Sikhs, Hindus, and they don't have the answers. You know what I'm saying? I say to you, this being that you're believing is not all knowing, not all powerful, not all seeing. How can he be God? You know? And really, basically, they just beat around the bush and basically ramble. It's so easy to prove that Jesus is not God. So therefore, at the end of the day, I can prove it. You know. Secondly, this doesn't remove the thing that atheists, yeah, can't prove right or wrong. Because let's just say you got two atheists, like I was saying before. One believes that raping, robbing, and all this stuff is wrong, and you should be a good person, work, you shouldn't hurt people. That's fine. Another atheist believes you should. It's okay to rape, rob, steal, and blah 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 blah. Because this atheist chose his way in life, he's right. Because this atheist chose his way in life, he's right. Because there is no defining objective morality. So because we're focusing on what I'm saying, and that's fine. But the atheist still can't prove. This is not proving your argument. Is not proving that the atheist can prove objective morality, and I think you agree with that. Secondly, like I said to you, it's very clear for me to prove from a theist point of view why my religion is the truth, and the only reason why I believe that what it says is right is because it's the only religion that believes in all-knowing, all-seeing, all-powerful God. The rest of them say so, but when you analyze them, they say God becomes a man, God becomes a statue, God becomes an animal, God rested, God get hungry, and these type of beings are not the creator. So therefore, it's quite simple for me, to answer that question.
Or are there different gods who disagree about what's right and wrong?
There can't be different gods. I'll tell you why. A God is something that's absolute in power, meaning that if there's a pen and there was two gods, if God A wanted this pen to exist and God B didn't want it to exist, that is an impossibility. So therefore, that a God is something that's absolute in power and nothing can overpower or thwart it. So God, by his nature, if he didn't want this pen to exist, wouldn't exist. If he wanted it to exist, it was this. So there can no thing as two gods, because once one of them overpowers or is equal to in power as the other God, then basically that being is not God. Because one of God's attributes is that he's all powerful.
It comes down to the question of what is the true religion. And when you look around at all of the religions, you see there's not an answer.
Answer that part already.
We don't know whether Shiva is the one true God.
Shiva cannot be God because Shiva wasn't all-knowing. Shiva cut off the head of her son because she thought it was someone else and got an elephant head and put it on top of her son because she cut off her head by accident. So Shiva could not legislate objective morality because she wasn't all knowing. She even killed her own son. Well, not killed her own